It is such a great opportunity for us composition majors or other music enthusiasts who compose to present our music to the student body. And it's just such a valuable experience, I think, for both performer, composer, and audience. So thank you so much. So what you are about to hear is my piece, String Quartet Number 2. It is the second in a series of string quartets that I've premiered here. And what is unique about them, at least to me, is that they are all grounded in symbolically in nature. And this is particularly interesting to me because I grew up on a farm. I've gone backpacking all over the world, and nature and music have been an integral part of my upbringing and my life. And so as a composer, one of the important things that I have striven to understand, especially through the theology sequence here, one of the things that stuck out is how we can arrive symbolically at what's true. And we experience this in the sacraments. They symbolize effectively something else. And so they realize through their symbolism, and they make present a deeper truth. And so applying that to music and to nature, that is where my heart lies. And over the past year, I've had several opportunities as a composer to do some arrangements, which I'm particularly proud of. I arranged Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings, which is also his Agnus Dei, which is a choral piece. So I arranged that for 6 voices. And I also arranged Vivaldi's Spring for 2 violins and organ for a wedding. And so through this, I really took effort to glean from it what the composers were doing that affected an emotional state or affected some natural symbolism. And so what you're about to hear is my attempt to symbolically represent nature. The beginning will begin with a gesture that, in my mind, and it may strike you differently, represents a lone wolf being joined by his pack. And it's slightly mournful, it's slightly dark. Then the sun rises, and the birds start to chirp. And hopefully you'll be able to sense when that happens. And whatever else you think and feel is perfect. It's just supposed to represent, in some way, nature and music combined. So, without further ado, please enjoy my String Quartet Number 2. Thank you. is Bridget Tabor, and our cello is Dr. Swanson. Thank you very much. Now, a short Q&A, if anyone has questions. Going once, going twice. Yes?
So you mentioned how you were looking for certain things in the music of Samuel Barber and other composers that elicited emotional, like the emotions that you wanted. What sort of things did you find? Was it certain melodies, certain chordal relationships? What did you find really helped to create those emotions in a piece?
Great question. In terms of Samuel Barber, two things really stand out to me, which I took specifically for this piece. One of which is the long droning chords at the same time as some melody that's slow but still faster than the chord movement. So if you remember back to the beginning of the piece, that's sort of how it started. Everything was slow and droning, and then the violin came in with a melody that started to pick up the pace, and then the piece became motivated and then took it somewhere else. So that is one thing from him. And the other thing is I'm not sure how to phrase this, the reiteration of a note, just keeping the chords the same. So the chords stay the same, but they just play the note again. And that bum, bum, the harmony doesn't change, but it's a different articulation, and that to me is just really poignant, and it's something that he does quite a bit, at least in the Adagio for strings, which I drew from. And so in terms of what they represent emotionally, could be a host of things, but it at least is emotionally poignant.
Can I ask what inspired you to have a quartet instead of a quintet or just any group of a different size? Like why you found that this specific set of instruments worked best for your piece?
Yeah, good question. Firstly, I did actually toy around with, because I knew I was going to write something for strings. I had written for strings before. I'm a violinist, or at least grew up playing violin, and so it's more comfortable for me. And I wanted to write another string quartet or string piece, and so I toyed around with the idea of a string quintet, a string trio, or a piano quintet where we add a piano. And I settled on a string quartet because one, those are the instrumentalists that we have, and they're quite exceptional. And two, I didn't feel like adding the bass would really do what I was looking for. Same thing with adding the piano or taking away the cello. This just was kind of perfect for what I wanted. Oh, we got one right in front of you. Yeah.
How exactly does one go about composing a piece for multiple instruments? Do you kind of write some and then have them play it and listen to it and revise, or do things on the computer? How does that work?
Yeah, really great question. And that's, to a degree, it's up to each composer. Everyone does it differently. The two composers that you'll hear after me have probably a vastly different process than I do. But for me, it's what is my medium? So my medium is a string quartet. What am I trying to do with the piece? So define, put limits around what I'm creating. And then for this, what did I do first? Well, I started my last string quartet with a viola line. And so I decided I would do that again here. And so then, okay, now I've defined string quartet, what I want my piece to look like aurally, which is like the sound. And I want to start with a viola. So now, start with a viola, write a line for the viola, and then take what I've written for that, blow it up into the rest of the strings, and develop from there. And then it's a bit of write it down on my software, listen back, see what I like, see what I don't. So it's a combination of it all.
Thanks, and it was beautiful.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, thank you so much.